And just to rub it in, mobile has become my second favorite way to experience Terraria. I am so excited for this to be released to the world. Heart. So, at the risk of sounding ungrateful, why has it taken so long to get mobile Terraria 1.3? Well, keep in mind that long development periods aren't exactly exclusive just to mobile. For instance, PC Terrarians have been waiting a very long time for 1.3.6. 1.3.6 is still a ways out. We are taking our time with this one and having fun. Now, I'm still waiting for 1.3.6, obviously, but hey, at least she was honest about it. But setting aside all that, mobile certainly presents its own challenges. Mobile covers a lot of different platforms, whereas Xbox One and PS4 are pretty standard. As Loki wrote on the official forums in September of 2017, quote, "Mobile is more or less its own thing, and will always have differences and be a very different experience. Even if all content were the same, this would be the case." Loki was also recently talking about how the PS4 Xbox development is fairly standard and predictable, regardless of whether it's an upgraded version of the console. Quote, "The differences would boil down to performance, and you generally work with the weakest link in mind, so then the higher tier devices work by default, the same or better. Mobile is a whole other kettle of fish. PC as well, but perhaps less crazy than mobile. The vast array of mobile devices out there clearly can give developers a lot of headaches, and headaches take time to go away." Loki's statements regarding the development also obviously reference the need for control schemes designed to suit the more limited, at least in some ways, more limited controls of mobile devices. Also, smaller screen size and the consequent need for efficient use of screen space, which from the latest screenshots seems to be coming along far better than I would have thought possible. And then there's the behind-the-scenes work of completely recoding the game for developmental compatibility with the other versions of Terraria. Quote, "Making the code as close as possible on all platforms eases the process of bringing updated content to all platforms more quickly." That was Tunnel King, an administrator, posting way back in October of 2017. He also was quoted as, actually this is Loki, saying, quote, "This is an entirely rebuilt mobile version from the ground up." That was March of 2019 from Loki, as I said. So, ReLogic's One Terraria initiative is to unify the code bases as much as possible and to make the Terraria experience as similar as possible, whether you're on console, PC, or mobile. Now, once the Switch and Mobile 1.3 releases are in the rearview mirror, I suspect that the speed bumps that have been involved in implementing this ambitious policy will hopefully be behind us as well. But without question, much of the delay in seeing 1.3 on mobile is because of this long-term approach that they've decided to take. Another big element is figuring out the minimum specs needed to play mobile Terraria 1.3. Not all devices will be able to run it. It's a more demanding version of the game. And this isn't a problem that's exclusive to mobile players. You'll probably take note that the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Nintendo DS versions of Terraria all stopped short of implementation of the 1.3 patch, as it was apparently too demanding, at least for the Nintendo DS. In the case of the Nintendo DS, for instance, they said, as I recall, I don't have the quote in front of me unfortunately, it lacked sufficient RAM for the new features of 1.3. And, honestly, if you've ever looked at the celestial pillars or the animation of the full screen Moon Lord, you'll know that they're visually a cut above the rest of the game and the older content. And with those kind of visuals comes steeper hardware requirements. Development for Mobile 1.3 will have to walk a fine line between optimization and laying out some bare minimums for mobile hardware that can actually run it. And I'm sure just the process of doing that and figuring out how much optimization is actually feasible takes some time. It takes internal discussions, all that sort of thing. So to summarize, the long development cycle for mobile 1.3 can be attributable to 4 things. The first is simply the quirks of developing for the large variety of mobile devices that are out there. We're talking tablets, phones of all kinds, you know the drill. There are a lot of different mobile devices. The second factor is having to recode the game from the ground up so that it's more compatible with the overall, I guess you could call it, the Terraria ecosystem. And hopefully this is a one-time issue, and going forward this won't be a problem. Element number 3, or factor number 3, is the need for specialized development to optimize the mobile Terraria experience. This is, as I said, about making efficient use of screen space, about the unique controls for mobile Terraria, that sort of thing. So it's problems unique to the mobile format. And then finally, the fourth factor, and this isn't just specific to mobile, I would say Relogic's generally patient and methodical approach to development these days. Again, this isn't unique to the mobile Terraria. This is certainly the case for PC Terrarians who are waiting on 1.3.6. As rushed as the initial release was back in 2011 because of a leaked copy of Terraria, since then they've actually been a lot more methodical about how they release updates to the game. They're, I guess you could say, older and wiser, and frankly a more mature company now, and they're really taking their time. They're putting a lot of TLC into these releases and making sure that they're not a rush job. So this is a company-wide thing, and it's the fourth factor of why we've been waiting so long for mobile 1.3. Now the good news is, of course, that most of the brutal wait is now behind us. If you haven't heard, a limited beta is being conducted, which means that they're out of alpha and working on polishing the beta version of 1.3. So maybe I won't regret saying that we're almost out of the woods at this point. And maybe I won't need to make a video 2 years from now explaining why mobile 1.3 beta testing is taking so long. Let's hope I don't have to do that. Anyway, that's it. Just my thoughts on why it's taking so long. I know, as you saw from the beginning of the video, that there have been a lot of comments just taking note of just the protracted development, and it's unfortunate, but I think the final product will be worth the wait, as immense as the wait has been. Anyway, again, just my thoughts. I don't pretend to be omniscient. I don't know everything, but just from what I've read and what I've seen, I think those 4 factors really kind of explain the delay. And again, I think the good news is that going forward, we're not going to see a lot of these issues crop up. It's hopefully just a one-time thing, and so when it comes to further content, post-Moonlord content, we should see a more rapid upgrade cycle. But obviously, the proof is in the pudding. We're going to have to wait and see if that's the case. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe as always, and I will see you next time.